Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity. My name is Jay and the title of this video may sound a little bit dramatic, but it is something I have been considering lately. It'll say something like, I'm not quitting, but, I'm doing something, I don't know. And that something is basically, the channel is going to remain, but I'm essentially going to scale back and just do news. There is a reason for this, and I will talk about that right now. It's just there's many things in my head, so I might be a little bit incoherent. But the first thing I want to really talk about is my terrain channel, and the reason that this is important is quite simply because of the size that the terrain channel is going to become, and the amount of time it takes to make terrain, and the reason that I'm making terrain. So the terrain channel, by the way, is doing incredibly well. It's less than a year old. It's on 2,500 subscribers. In the last 30 days. I've had 500 plus subscribers. Just to put that in perspective, the peak that I ever had on the Legion channel, Tabletop Oddity, was about 400 the March that the game came out. So I just want to say that you can sort of see there's a reason for this. I'm presuming COVID-19 and stuff like that. But this channel is growing really quickly and seems to be slightly exponentially growing. And then this is important because what I'm saying here is that this terrain channel is going to be basically my main channel. It's as simple as that. And I know people might be like, is it just because of the views? Is it just because it's doing better? And while that is a factor, one of the important things here is that really, if you think about purpose and desire, why are we doing stuff and what's the end goal, then I feel more passionately in that sense about making terrain and helping people make stuff rather than, say, playing a game. Now, I know playing a game is good and I enjoy Star Wars Legion, do not get me wrong, but I'm not sure where it's essentially just entertainment or news. I wasn't really helping people. Now, those of you who followed the channel for a long time will know essentially for Star Wars Legion, when the game was announced but the game wasn't out, I was making terrain and I really enjoyed that, and a lot of people seem to like that too. So I've sort of put that in its own channel and that's doing really, really well. Essentially that's all there is to that matter. To put that in perspective, right, the Star Wars Legion channel, this one, has been around now for, let's say, about 3 years. I think that's about right. And is on it's about 4,600 subscribers. The terrain channel's been around for 1 year and is on 2.5. So if you don't presume any extra growth, you just say you're going to triple that in 3 years, that would put me on 7,500. Whereas the Legion channel would be maybe, I don't probably know, 6,000, something like that. So I think it looks at this point that the terrain channel will overtake the Star Wars Legion channel, right? So it's, for me, that's a no-brainer in that sense. And then again, I said the purpose to the terrain channel, which maybe I didn't really properly go over, is I like making stuff that takes really simple materials. I mean, look at this example here. It's literally made out of cardboard and we make a nice hill. I like doing stuff like that, making terrain more approachable for more people so more people feel like they can get involved. What I don't like doing is painting miniatures, but I do like making terrain. For some reason, that's just something that I've always enjoyed doing. So I feel there's more purpose behind that. I feel more strongly about that in the sense I'm actually helping people post the pictures in the new Facebook group, and I just really enjoy doing it. And I do really enjoy playing Star Wars Legion. Obviously, right now we can't. I appreciate that, but and I still will be playing Star Wars Legion. But the reason I have to make the decision about a main channel is, essentially, I was half-arsing a few things rather than full-arsing a few things. Oh, I actually have this video up, do I? Yeah, look, I'll show you this video. This is from Parks and Recreation in Mont Swanson, and I actually saw this the other day, and it was sort of triggered in my brain something, and I was like, yeah, right, let's actually...
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.
And it's just, it is what it is. It says, don't half-ass one thing, half-ass two things, full-ass one thing. And it just triggered a nerve in me. It just said something like, right, the terrain channel's growing really well. I need to full-ass the terrain channel, basically, to full-ass it. I realise there's a UK-American difference there. And yeah, that was just like, right, I actually need to do this. So for the Legion channel, I've been planning recently on making like battle reports, and I was going to do news and battle reports. But then when it came to doing battle reports, it's like, well, I need to get a hold of the Clone Wars, assemble them, paint them, etc. And that time, if I'm just doing that for battle reports, one takes away my enjoyment of Star Wars Legion. If I'm doing stuff purely for content, I end up then sort of like enjoying it less. And two, takes away time that I could be spending on a more successful venture, basically, or what appears to be possibly a more successful venture. So, in that sense, I don't want to do those anymore. I don't want to do the back reps. And I was like tempted to just say, I'm not doing anything, right? I'm not doing anything on the whole channel, because if I'm not doing back reps, I'm probably not even going to do too much tactics. I'm probably not even going to do all the interesting stuff, painting, anything like that. I'm literally just going to stick to the news. And then if I ever want to like talk about something, I probably will. So a lot of you might not necessarily even notice a difference if you came for news. But for me, this sort of like mental twig of, actually, if I'm doing any hobby-esque activity, then I should just be making terrain. Or if in my own time I just want to chill and knock out a couple of miniatures because I'm going to a tournament, then that's just me in my own time. I don't have to get the cameras and set them up and that kind of thing. So, or I don't have to panic, buy the new stuff, paint the new stuff, try and find somebody to play with, spend the 5 hours it takes to record it and film it, and then you've got to edit it and stuff like that. It's a lot of time investments to do that kind of stuff, and I don't really. It's not that I don't want to do it. I think that part of the problem, I realise I'm rambling a lot here, by the way. Part of the problem with this sort of decision is it's not what I want. What I want is to do the terrain channel really well. I want to do the Tabletop Oddity really well. I want to do Rage Quit really well. But what I want isn't feasible. It's not realistic. So what I'm actually going to do is try and do the terrain channel really well. And then the other two, I'm just going to do news, basically, just in the short term. Now, I'm hoping, amongst hopes, that ultimately here the end goal is if I can do the terrain channel really well, like I produce quality content and people come along and they enjoy it and stuff like that, maybe I can get to a point where I do it full time, right? And if I do that, then the other two open up a little bit more. I can then, if I've got time, if I'm like, at the minute I'm working from home, obviously. I know a lot of people are in a fortunate position, but the minute I'm working from home. And if I wasn't working whilst I was at home, damn right I could knock out some Star Wars Legion materials and get my stuff assembled, get it painted, and just play maybe at the weekend. Damn right I could do that if I've got the extra time, as well as doing the terrain. But at the moment I don't have that luxury. Obviously we've just had me and my wife have just had a baby as well, who's now like 7 weeks old. There's not really a factor, like it's not actually taking that much time out of my life. It's more the fact that I only have so much time as a resource, and how much effort do you want to put into one versus the other. And I just think for me, as of right now, doing the terrain channel really well has to be my focus, because it's the one that perhaps has the more, one, it looks like it'll make me happier in terms of purpose. Two, I think it has a more highest chance of success. Really, well, that's the two reasons. And then if that ever does happen, that it becomes successful, well, it opens up the door to actually have like fun doing Star Wars Legion more, etc. There's certain things I just want to do, like with the time. Like it's like if I'm going to just hobby and do terrain, well, with the time that I've got left, maybe I'll, go to a few more tournaments, because it's like, well, I don't have to worry about not making videos or making videos for that. As long as I've got my terrain ready for it, I can just be like, right, I can go and enjoy the tournament. Whereas a lot of times I go to a tournament and I'm thinking, oh, I wonder if I should have spent this time making a Star Wars Legion video. So I'm not quitting, long story short, but I am scaling back to just be news. And I realise at the moment we don't have much news. And well, that's understandable. I don't think anybody's really like telling me off or anything like that. Nobody's concerned for me in that sense, but concerned is the wrong word. Nobody cares. Nobody's expecting that from me. And at the minute I've got some stuff that I could paint, I could assemble to try and do battle reports when everything opens up. But then I think, well, actually I've got these terrain ideas and I have to look at what's better for me. And I think the terrain channel is better for me. Rage Quit is sort of like in the same boat. I realise what I'm actually trying to do is like 1/10 ass this channel and just do news because it doesn't take me too long to do news. 1/10 ass rage quit, and then like 8/10 ass terrain. So I'm still not listening to Ron Swanson's idea because that's the problem. There was I created a monster by having 3 YouTube channels. Now a lot of people say, well, Jay, combine rage quit and Tabletop Oddity, and it's like, yeah, but I've built this. I've become too attached to Legion and this Legion channel basically that I don't want to do that. And secondly, I think rage quit just sort of, it feels more. I'm happy. I like stated from the start that I'm just going to cover whatever I want to cover basically, so I don't feel pressure to, I can jump around if I want to. I can do Warcry, I could do Kill Team, I could do Warhammer the Old World, whatever's like taking my fancy. So it makes sense. All 3 channels make sense. The only thing that doesn't make sense is that I'm potentially hurting. I'm potentially not achieving my desires and joy in life because I'm trying to split my energy and time in a way that ultimately is unlikely to get me what I want, basically. So I think like Star Wars Legion is a great game, but at the moment, I don't think it's likely that there aren't any people making a full-time living off like covering Star Wars Legion as far as I know. I know a couple of people like are selling stuff and all that kind of stuff. Maybe they are and whatever, but let's just presume that's unrealistic kind of thing. But there are a couple of people who make full-time livings off doing terrain on YouTube. Maybe I can sneak into that. Maybe that's the dream, and I think that's possibly the most likely possibility. So that's the one I'm going to chase the hardest. Yeah. So it's like I'm not going away, but I gotta admit that there was a temptation to just be like, I'm not gonna do anything, because if I take that pressure off me completely, that I literally don't have to do anything, then maybe it would free up my mind to do terrain a bit more. But I like timed myself the other day, like doing a video or whatever, doing a concept of a video, and I could probably like get it from the idea to on the channel with the thumbnail and everything, probably like 30 minutes. If it's just one of these videos, it doesn't take me very long. So I thought, well, there's no point throwing it away. I'll keep it open. And plus, like, just to let you know, I'm probably going to go to more tournaments, if anything, because I'm going to go just for fun. I'm gonna just play my Empire because that's the faction I like. No bother that it's the most popular faction, and I'm just gonna go and enjoy the game. That's it. I don't have to worry about being good. I don't have anybody to prove anything to. I'm just gonna go and do that. So yeah, this has been one of the most rambly videos I've ever made. So I'm not quitting. I'm just gonna be doing news, and that's it. Whether or like in my head, I keep thinking, well, you could do. What if you do like a tactics? What if we do like we look at Iden and we say, how do we play as Iden? And it's like, yep, I could do that, or I could maybe go on my terrain ideas list and try and see what video I should do in 3 weeks' time. Do I have the materials, etc. So, yeah, I'm not going away, but I'm hibernating. Basically, all I'm really announcing here is that I'm not doing battle reports. That's all I'm actually going to announce. And if you do want to watch battle reports, first watch War Corgi because he's amazing. And he's still recording. During the pandemic, they're taking safety precautions and stuff like that, but they're still pumping out videos, is what I'm saying. And then Master of the Force, yes, MOTF with Luke and the crew there. They also do great back reps. Yeah, like there's other people doing back reps, but for me they're the 2 standouts. And yeah, like I could do that, and I know people like my battle reports, but it's just not realistic for me to do it at the moment. The sun's coming through my blinds there. The goal, I get so popular doing terrain, I can do it full time, and then I can actually make some Star Wars Legion content in my spare time. At the minute, I'm doing a full-time job with a baby, trying to do terrain, trying to do Legion, trying to do Rage Quit, and it's unrealistic and unfeasible. So hopefully you understand. Have a most beautiful day. As I said, the main announcement is I'm not doing battle reports, and I'm not quite going away. Yeah, goodbye.